Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Psychiachix. So there's been a lot going on in the world, a lot of bullshit happening this week. So we thought we'd bring you a nice new episode. We're going to be talking about some things that are kind of related to, the cause. We're going to be talking about microaggressions and what that means. You probably heard it a lot being thrown around, but what that actually means and how to stop them and maybe think about you doing them and maybe why that might be. Sound good?
Good.
Okay, so I was going to start by reading out a little definition.
Are you going to introduce us?
Oh yeah, do I have to? They should know you by now. I'm not going to point them.
You should know our name by now.
I mean,
I'm Dr Sakal, I'm a psychiatrist.
I'm Dr Kirsty Alderton, also a psychiatrist.
And I'm Dr Nataly Gibson, another psychiatrist. I mean, we've got over 2,000 views on YouTube. We should know our names by now. But anyway.
Made it.
Yeah.
2020 has been a lot of bullshit so far, hasn't it, really?
Yeah.
What's going on? What is going on?
It's not.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It just keeps going, doesn't it? It's just one thing after another. And I dread to think the kind of effect this is having on people. But Nataly, tell us a little bit about microaggressions and what exactly that means.
I will. I was going to just add in there about 2020 being shit. They actually had like a plague of locusts, like in India. Like that's like biblical. That actually happened. Like that's just happening.
Where are they coming for us?
No, they were in India. Bless them. It's just anyway. So little definition, right? Microaggressions are more than just insults, insensitive comments, or generalized bad behavior. There's something very specific. The kinds of remarks, questions, or actions that are painful because they have to do with a person's membership in a group that's discriminated against or subject to stereotypes. A key part of what makes them so disconcerting is that they happen casually, frequently, and often without any harm intended, but in everyday life. So that's your little definition. Have we got some examples of microaggressions that we can maybe explain this a bit better?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to point out that often these things aren't conscious. I mean, there can be overt sexism, racism, homophobia, where the person is very consciously making an effort to offend someone or insult somebody. Yeah. Microaggressions tend to happen without it even being realized or even being known, apart from by the person that feels offended. Examples?
Well, I think we're a nice little group here. I think we're all of us can speak from experience from a group of people that can be discriminated against or have a stereotype about. So I don't know, Chloe, do you want to go first?
Yeah. So I guess one of the big ones is gender discrimination, and once again, it can happen to either gender. There can be microaggressions to anyone. In my experience, I have had a lot of microaggressions about being a woman, and I'm sure a lot of people have. I'm sure you guys have as well. Some of the things I've experienced is people tying up my ability in the workplace with my looks.
Oh, what? Because you're Megan?
Yeah, because I'm so damn beautiful. So I have had comments like, "You're good at giving presentations because you're nice to look at."
I like looking at you when you present, Chloe.
I like to think I'm charismatic. And
it fills me with rage.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because on the surface, it can seem like that is a compliment.
Oh, it's very backhanded.
Yeah, exactly. Beware of the backhanded compliment.
Yeah, the backhanded compliment. So, that's nice. I'm nice to look at. And, it's a kind thing to say. But what is the subtext of that? I am good at presenting because I'm nice to look at.
Nothing to do with your credentials.
No. Nothing to do with the fact I am good at presenting, that I am good at talking, that I know about my subject. It is only because I'm nice to look at.
Yeah, it's like it's tying two things up that are entirely separate.
They are not, they're not related, babes. They're not
related. And I don't know, why do people do this though? Is it because, I don't know, do they feel like they're giving a compliment?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I do wonder,
It depends on intention, doesn't it?
yeah, how conscious is that comment? Do they honestly think it's a nice thing to say? And maybe they do. I don't know. They think, you know, actually, I've really enjoyed watching your presentation because I like looking at you.
Yeah, it's either like dodgy flirting or like a manipulative backhanded compliment that they know they're doing.
I think you should go like this. So tell me what the presentation was about.
Oh, yeah, test the knowledge.
Yeah, sorry, a quick quiz on what I was saying.
Pop quiz.
How big are my tits? That was, please, do let me know.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. So yeah, it is like a compliment, but is it, or is there some sort of offensive subtext in it? Yeah, and I've had a lot of comments like this over the years.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
You're so beautiful.
And actually, I've had similar things when I've published serious scientific work. The comments have been about my looks. Gosh, she's tidy. She's nice to look at. It's like, did you read my paper?
Anyone read the summary?
Just gonna look at my face.
No. Well, I mean, I've got another pretty good example of some backhanded compliments, and one of my favorites, because this didn't happen when I was younger, but one of my favorites in my later years has been mostly happens when I'm out, probably at festivals for some bizarre reason.
I miss those.
Oh,
Don't say the F word.
Festivals.
Do it to me.
Someone coming up to me and saying, "You're the best looking ginger I've ever seen." What does that even mean? I'm like, hold on a sec.
I mean, have they seen Ariel from The Little Mermaid?
Do you know what I mean? She is fit.
No, she's fit.
She's hot.
I mean, is that a compliment, or is it like, would you go up to? I mean, I don't know. You're the best looking ginger. So in the ginger league,
in the ginger leagues,
you're all right, but anywhere else, you got
Nice looking ginger. And do you? I mean, what do you think is the intent there? Is it just bad flirting? Is it?
No, I think they are like trying to help me. It's like, oh, I'm really sorry that you were born ginger. It's a real sad thing.
Here's a compliment.
Here's a compliment.
You're welcome.
Because actually you look okay for a ginger. So you should be really proud of yourself. And I'm offended on behalf of all gingers, first of all. Second of all, I'm not good looking for a ginger. I'm just good looking.
Ah, yeah, preach.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah, I was thinking about what we talked about in our, me and Chloe talked about in our first episode. Go watch it. Was about people not believing that we're doctors.
Yeah.
Patients, sometimes other members of staff. You know, are you? Oh, I didn't know you were the doctor. That's like a perfect example of that. And that could be, well, pick your stereotype. Is it because we're female? Well, all of us, it because we're female. Is it because I'm black? Is it because what you're wearing? Is it, you know? Who knows?
It's nuts. Yeah, I've had that loads. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to be seeing the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I once got called a secretary. I mean, that's okay, but why would a secretary come and see you in your bed? naked elderly man with his penis out. Are you the secretary? This is all right. Exactly.
Well, to bring it to current affairs, obviously I've had my fair fucking share of racial microaggressions. I think as first being female and being light-skinned, I've not had it as bad as a lot of people, but you know, I have my family experience it, my dad, my brother, my cousins, my uncles. So, you know, I've had my fair share. Some of that I've heard were actually really sad was sort of like a survey of black men, and what they've experienced. And some of them said, you know, they'll be walking down the street and they'll walk past a woman, and as they walk past, she sort of clutches her bag a bit closer, or she zips up her bag. Another example is, they said that a heartbreaking sound to them is when they walk past a car and they hear the automatic lock of the car go, which is just, you know, these people, the person in the car and the person with the purse isn't trying to make them feel bad. It's just something that it's almost like a reflex now. I think things that I've had, where do I begin? So I speak pretty well for a Black person. You speak the Queen's English. Oh, okay, right, good. Because, you know, all Black people are completely illiterate.
Sorry, that's insane.
Yeah, I've had me and so I have a friend who is a lot darker than me, and this girl is just breathtakingly stunning. And she'd always get pretty for a Black girl. Pretty for a Black girl.
For a Black girl.
Again, it's just
the added caveat for a.
Oh, thanks.
It's
a Black girl. Oh, okay. It's because that means they've already put that group, ginger hair, dark skin. They've already put that group as a low group. Yeah. And you've risen to the top. Yeah. Well done.
And that's exactly it. That's how they come from. It's that initial assumption, is it, that someone is less than?
Yeah.
You would ever say I mean, maybe this does happen to men, but do you think if a man gave a good presentation, they'd say, gosh, you're a good presenter for a man?
That just doesn't, it jars, because nobody says that. I've never heard that before. It's jarring. You're like, that's a weird thing to say.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't happen by definition, because we're viewed as
it's bizarre, yeah.
Or things like when they say female politician, female scientist. Just a fucking scientist. Yeah, what
it is. I was reading about this in sexuality as well, and one of the classic things that often comes up is when people come out as gay, somebody might respond to them saying, "I love you, whatever."
Yeah, like that little jab.
Yeah.
Or
what do you mean?
Or you don't look like you're gay.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah, I love you no matter what. It's like,
this is worst case scenario.
Yeah, why the no matter what? Why?
And I think so. I was going to say about something that I have. Like, I think it happens a lot in the gay community as well. Like, so I'm Black, therefore I am, well, a Black spokesperson, so I know everything. My opinion is the opinion of every Black person, and they assume I know everything about Black culture. So it's like, Nataly, do you know that new rapper? Oh, Nataly, what's his name? And I'm like, Or my friend was like, I'm going to go see this Black comedian, so-and-so. What's he like? I'd never heard of him. I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not. And like gay people, so you like RuPaul's Drag Race?
I mean, Drag Race is great.
It is fucking awesome. But just because you're gay doesn't automatically mean you're going to like it. I mean, it's fabulous. I want to make that very clear, Rue. It's fabulous. But yeah, bullshit like that.
Yeah, strange assumptions.
What about more kind of, since this seems to be our theme, more sexual kind of microaggressions? What have we got?
Whoa.
Any experiences of that?
Yeah. So I don't know if this is anything other women have experienced, and I don't know. Actually, I have to say, I'm not sure this is a microaggression actually, but this is something subconscious that's being communicated,
like a subtle communicative.
Yeah, there's something going on here. So I often find when I speak to men that I haven't spoken to before, they very quickly bring up that they have a wife,
or they're in a relationship.
They're in a relationship, or they show me pictures of their children, even though it's not what I was speaking about. So I may be speaking about, in the workplace, I may be speaking about something that needs to be done, or a project deadline, etc. And what I get is, I've got a wife.
Yeah. And I guess that I certainly had that, and it's strange because it's out of context. So I've been at work and suddenly I'm watching someone's family holiday, and I have no idea.
It's out of context for you, but it tells you a lot about where their head is at.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking I'm just talking to you, and you're there demonstrating that you've got a wife and children, and I don't want to see your family pictures.
Yes, you're ugly. I don't care.
Yeah, so being communicated, it is some sort of barrier because there is something going on for them in which they need to show that there is this, I don't know, some kind of sexual barrier here, even though that wasn't the context of the conversation.
Yeah, I don't know what you call that.
No, I don't know. I don't think it is actually a microaggression, isn't it?
I'm not sure what that is.
It's it's subconscious communication, I guess.
Well, yeah, in a nutshell.
But I suppose it's something that I personally still find it quite difficult because it conflicts with what's trying to be done. It's still in the workplace. This wouldn't happen to a man, I don't think.
No, can you imagine like a man walks into your office and you're like, I've got a boyfriend?
Yeah, like,
you know, unless that, you know, without any preamble.
Yeah, so I I go to talk about something serious, like, okay, we've got this meeting at 3 o'clock. What are you going to do with this? And they say, I've got a wife. I'm like, the meeting?
What? You okay, hun? You having a stroke?
Are you okay? I know. I did actually once respond to somebody, sorry, and that means what exactly? I don't know.
What are you on?
I'm just thinking about when it happens the other way around, because I've definitely observed it the other way around where women will say, oh, sorry, I've got a boyfriend, or sorry, I'm married.
But I guess you're right, though. It does happen both ways. Of course it does. All these things happen both ways. It can happen between anybody at all.
But we're talking from experience.
Yeah, and I didn't get angry about watching the family holiday video. I just sat and watched it
in silence.
I think the difference is, I've certainly said, I've got a boyfriend or etc. in the past when I have, but I think I find it quite difficult in the work context. That's where I really struggle.
There's no place for it, is there?
It should be happening there.
It's work time.
Yeah, and it's
work time.
In a way, it is a bit of a microaggression because it belittles my value in the workplace. I want to talk to you about something serious, and it's very evident you're thinking about sex with me.
You've made it sexual. Thanks.
It's sexual.
Yeah. Devaluing you.
Yeah.
So we've given some examples there. There are lots. So why do people do this? Because I don't want to believe that everyone's just a horrible piece of shit and goes around aggressing people. So why do you think this happens? Because even people who think they're good people will still do it, and like you said, some of it is unconscious, which means you're not aware that you're doing it. So why do we do these things? What's the point?
I think these are examples of what we call cognitive shortcuts. So our brains have to process a lot of information all the time, so much that if we did actually process all of it, our brains just wouldn't be able to function. We wouldn't be able to function. So we make shortcuts. We make shortcuts based on prior information. We spend our whole lives being taught about things, being taught about what women are, what different races are, what gender is. Our brains jump to conclusions, and it can be quite difficult to program in new information without making a conscious effort.
Yeah. You might notice it in yourself, I guess, when you have that initial, you might see something and it triggers a thought. And it might not be a thought that you necessarily are like is kind of what you agree with or what you would like to think, but it comes up for people. It's that kind of it's very, very quick, and it can be a judgment. It can be racist. It can be sexist. It could be all of those things, and then you have to kind of like go and notice, and then obviously make a decision about what you do next. But I think it's really natural for that to happen, and it's because of the way our brain's been programmed. It just fires to that judgment really quickly.
It's really reliant on your experiences and what you've been taught in your external perceptions of things. So if you were always taught that girls wear pink, then so it relies a lot on your environment. And unfortunately it's efficient to be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
The shortcut that your brain makes is for efficiency. So to be efficient, you're going to be a bit of a knob.
But luckily we have a frontal lobe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, our frontal lobe can override this. The more evolutionary advanced part of our brain, you can override these automatic reflexes.
Just takes a pause, bit of effort, bit of a pause.
I realise we've given lots of examples, but you know, I do it as well. I'm very much.
Yes, of course.
Make sure if I hear a man speak, I'm probably more likely to think they're credible. I hate to admit that.
Yep.
It's an automatic, you know, but
Totally.
I find myself out of it, but it's there, I think.
Totally. That's sad, isn't it?
What's that called? That's like a micro empowerment to them.
Yes, yeah, damn it.
That's not a microaggression. That's like, well, it's a microaggression to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm dissing myself. When I trust the man's voice more, I'm belittling myself. It's mad.
Yeah. Assuming that every man in the room is more important or more powerful than you. Whatever.
It's mad. That is totally mad.
Yeah, and yet
it's been put in there from the beginning. It's in there. It doesn't mean it has to. Well, it's probably quite deep in there, but actually we can make choices to change, and we can practice those changes.
Yeah, God.
You just got to. I think it's really relevant as well from what's happening this week. It's effort. You're gonna have to take a look at, you know, why you have these associations, where have they come from, and just try and reprogram your brain.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah,
but as long as the first step is awareness that you're doing it. I think if you start there, you're not going to go far wrong. But it can be uncomfortable to face things that you
can read this book.
There we go.
This is about reprogramming your brain.
Okay.
It can be done.
Yeah. So it just takes a bit of effort, a bit of time, and you've got to be motivated.
Because you can have that what's called cognitive dissonance, when something.
What does that mean?
Cognitive dissonance is when you know something to be true, but then you're presented with information that conflicts with your prior truth, and it can feel really uncomfortable. It can be a really uncomfortable feeling to try and accept new information.
Yeah.
And I guess the other thing is challenging, is having that, is noticing in yourself, but being able to challenge others, which can be quite difficult. So challenging friends and family and loved ones that you've always kind of believed the same things, and then to kind of hear them say things and be able to challenge that and say, actually, I'm not okay with that, and I don't want to hear that. And
that is I think that's almost more uncomfortable than doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it to someone else and it's uncomfortable. But I think nothing worth doing is easy.
It's necessary. It's absolutely necessary.
Totally. But yeah. And you know, I wouldn't say, you know, if you have these automatic associations, and I mean we all have them, I'm not sort of pointing fingers, but you know, don't feel like you're a bad person. It's just how our brains develop. That's just how we work. But it is up to you to put the effort in to try and reprogram those little pesky little circuits in your brain. Yeah. That takes work, and that takes motivation, and you know, you got to put the effort in.
Yeah, it is a lifetime of societal programming. It's not because anyone's a bad person or
And a lot of it is fear-based.
Oh, it's all bloody fear-based, isn't it?
Fear-based.
Yeah.
We don't want to live in fear.
Everything you want is on the other side of fear.
God, on a finishing note, have we got any stories about sandwiches? Where am I going with it?
But have we?
Sandwichgate. Right, I want to talk about Sandwichgate. Right? So,
sorry, pray tell, what is Sandwichgate?
This is a real kind of subconscious, I don't even know if it's a microaggression again, but some kind of subconscious communication, right? Where am I going with this?
I'm just so interested. I can't wait to hear this.
I can't wait.
So apparently there is something about sandwiches and being offered a sandwich and the sandwich representing a penis. So I was once
what if it's, I mean, I can imagine a baguette, but what if it's one of those little triangle sandwiches?
One of those small ham sandwiches that your mum's made for your fifth birthday party. No, this came up because someone very, very, I suppose, in quite a powerful position to me, offered me their sandwich, and I ate it out of their hands. Right? I was hungry. And I think the psychological explanation for this was him offering me his penis, and
and you chopped that bitch down like a hungry rabbit.
Yep. Where am I going with this story?
No, but it's so good. I love it.
I mean, I once got offered a sandwich in a similar situation. I had it held to my face this close, and I said no, and they kept saying, "Just eat the sandwich."
Seniors, Kirsty.
What's up with that? I said no. I don't want to eat the sandwich.
Sandwich.
Get my own sandwich.
I've never had that.
Can I call it a butty?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not sure. Well, I suppose it could be a microaggression. Really, it is symbolic of something I force you to take, or I'm going to give you something.
I'm going to put something of mine inside your mouth.
Yeah,
Very symbolic sandwich.
Unnecessary. Would we feed a man a sandwich?
I probably would.
In the bedroom.
Feed.
I know. No, actually, no. Sorry, this is ridiculous. I would not feed one of my work colleagues a sandwich.
No, just to be clear, and you'll get breadcrumbs in your bed. I don't recommend.
This is like in a meeting, right? Not like.
Yeah, this was in a meeting. I guess once again, sorry, the context of the story is important. No, I wouldn't feed one of my male colleagues a sandwich.
Out of your hand.
I wouldn't say eat it to a colleague. No.
And then when you say no, come on, eat
Come
it.
on.
Just have a little bit open wide.
Sandwich cock.
Actually, so reflecting on this story, it is actually it's nuts.
It's absolutely bonkers. Like Like, can you imagine being like open wide?
Can we talk about why you ate it?
Yeah.
That is,
There's a lot about where you're at, Chloe.
yeah, it is interesting, isn't it?
Well, we've talked about this before, haven't we? The uncomfortableness and the how do you say no when someone's putting a sandwich in your face? Boundaries.
Use your boundaries.
But I'd say I did want to eat it. I guess I wanted the sandwich.
You like powerful men.
Hungry. The sandwich.
Powerful men, powerful sandwiches.
So were you both hungry afterwards?
For more?
Well, who shares a sandwich? You got to eat a whole sandwich for lunch.
I'm still hungry. It's a really good question.
Are you still hungry now?
Were you satisfied?
Always hungry for sandwich.
Oh, I could eat a sandwich right now.
Right now, I would love to. But the thing is, we're not in the workplace. I could be fed a sandwich right now.
Yeah, I could feed you a sandwich, babes.
Thanks. You got my back.
I got you.
Right, so that last story was just ridiculous. Apologies, everybody. We the hashtag
crying a little bit, just out of one eye.
Kirsty's crying. I hope you had a good time.
Okay, I'm going to sign off now.
Time to dance now.
Hang on. So that concludes our episode 6 of Psychiachix. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like it and post comments and do all that good stuff. Yeah. So we'll be back next week. Have a good week.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Have a good week. Like it or not. Maybe just a quick comment about one of the comments we got for our last video. No, from episode 3, episode 4? To the person who commented saying we should all get dildos each. We have one between us, all right?
We're not made of money.
Fucking hell.
We just, rent it out to each other once, every week.
We cannot afford one dildo each. That is just
baloney.
We use it, but socially distanced.
Yeah.
it's too long.
It's 2 meters long.
We'll consider each getting our own dildos.
Yeah, we need to start raising some YouTube revenue. We need more likes, guys.
Likes dildos. Hashtag likes
You need
dildos.
to donate to our GoFundMe.